Hello everyone, how are you all doing? Alice, how you doing? Busy day today, I'm guessing. Need some coffee? Okay. Looks good. Let's check some stream readers. Let's just jump straight into a battle. Oh, I should have exited the event. Damn it. It might too late. There we go. Okay. We're gonna literally just jump straight into the cloak. Not gonna bother with black. Just gonna grab some black brown. That's mahogany even. Great start. So, black brown. Try and like speed through this. Like the browns and stuff on the back of the cloak so we can get in onto the reds. Grab some light timber. That'll be good for now. Get some water mixed in. There you go. Okay. Get some water on the brush. I'm going to worry about the edges or anything like that, as long as we don't go over onto the other side. That's all I'm really concerned about. Gotcha, how you doing? So you was the stream really quiet? Well, I haven't changed anything, so it shouldn't be. Let's have a look real quick. It shouldn't be quiet. As how you doing? Really nice to see you. It might be the song. Maybe the song's a bit quiet. Thank you so much for that subscription. You really didn't need to do that. It's greatly appreciated. Hope you're doing good. Yeah, it shouldn't be quiet. Is like the mic and everything quiet as well, or? Mm-hmm. I can turn the music up a tiny bit if you want. Okay. I mean, having an autistic sensory issue all week is probably just that. Okay. Spotty, how you doing? Is the stream quiet for anyone else? Like the music and the microphone and stuff? Do we have to adjust some volumes? Like I said, I haven't touched a single thing. So might just be music and mic are perfect for you. Sounds fairly normal. Okay. Yeah, like I said, I don't touch anything when it comes to like the microphone, the music. Sometimes the music's a little bit quiet because obviously some quiet songs. Sometimes it's a little bit louder because the inconsistencies and stuff and that with like Monster Cat and they like this playlist is usually pretty good. Sometimes we get some more like upbeat songs, sometimes we get like really quiet ones, but I can't really show the other side of the cloak. If you can sort of see it like that. Like that. That'd be pretty cool. Still a lot of work to do. I was hoping to get Abaddon finished this week. Obviously we missed Monday, so that's put us a bit behind. But there won't be any streams next week, and I won't be able to do any painting or anything like that because obviously the building work and stuff and that's going to be going on in the house. Move out of the way for a second while it's drying. we have to completely take our stream setup and everything out of this room. We have to clear out all the living room and stuff as well, because like the wall and stuff and that they're going to be working on is like the dividing wall between the two rooms, which should be fun. So I've done a tiny bit more work on the base for the Ogroid Thermatorg. I've got the chest and everything pretty much where we wanted it. So I need to finish off these little skulls. Got some tufts and everything. Need to put a bit more snow around the skulls. Lock them in. Put a bit of like that liquid frost over them, because why not? Then we can glue this to the base. That'll be done. Finally. I think then I might just do a test sort of raffle for it. Not next week, the week after when we come back. Just sort of see how it goes. Okay. Let's have a look at the GW website real fast while it's drying still. Just to confirm sort of where the torch sits on the cloak. And we don't really need to worry too much about the side that's going to be mostly red. Okay. So if we go to this. So it sits against that leg, catches all this side and a bit there as well. Maybe we can fade out to like sort of this line. That'll be a good like reference point. So we'll mostly work on like the browns and everything and that on this side. Okay, so we'll keep that up. Use that line as reference. So sort of like here. So maybe we'll do it from like the browns and stuff from this, with the two pieces connected. We can work all the browns into this side, and then we can just extend the red over the top of it. Not really worry too much about this side. Okay, cool. Been a really rough time. Do you can't get ill disabled autistic trans woman whose girlfriend is on the other side of the... Oh, that sucks. It sucks being away from like, you know, loved ones and everything like that. Sometimes though, not saying this is for everyone and that, but sometimes like having like time apart and everything can be a good thing as well. Obviously if they're living miles away, that's never fun. Well, it's like when like originally I'm from Wales. I'm currently living in England and stuff like that with my partner. Like all her family and stuff is here. Yeah, it's here. My family's all back in Wales, but obviously with all the like pandemic and stuff and that, hasn't really been the option to go see them or anything. But I don't know, my family's always been a bit it's kind of like they're always there, and like we're always there for each other, and we know if we like any issues and stuff and that, we can always reach out and like we'll be there for each other. But we've never really been ones to like always like constantly like spend time together, if that makes sense. Obviously, my family and stuff, and I'm like the youngest, and everyone's off, like, you know, my mum and sister and stuff, and that I don't really talk to. Like my eldest brother is saving up and everything to try and get a house. And then my other brother and stuff in there's got a kid and everything. They're all just like, you know, super busy with work and all that stuff. So just basically like living our lives sort of thing. Like I said, we've always got the knowledge of if we need anything, we'll always be there for each other. We're not like, you know, ringing each other every 2 minutes and stuff. Not saying that's a bad thing, but it sort of suits the, like, everyone's sort of current situation sort of thing. Yeah. Well, anyway, that's a little insight to family life. But yeah, I hope get to see a partner and stuff soon. Yeah, health issues and everything are never fun. I know from personal experience and everything like that. That's why I'm so glad that we sort of found like painting, and then obviously then extension to that to like the stream, because it gives us something to focus on. Like the time we're painting models and streaming and everything like that, sort of like reality sort of goes on to like into like the back of our mind sort of thing, sort of like the issues and stuff and that we're dealing with, and any problems and stuff and that we're having sort of go to the back of our minds, and we get a couple of hours sort of peace from everything. Yeah, if you ever, like, not sure how helpful it'll be, but if you ever need to reach out to someone just to talk about like literally anything, or send a message on like the Discord and that, always happy to respond as often as I can. That goes out to like everyone. Oh, sounds like we're getting some rain. Yes, I hope it's rain.
113 is now following.
Thank you for that follow. Welcome in. Whoops. We'll have to be careful of that, because if we catch that, we'll snap off that edge of that cloak. Feeling a bit grumpy today because you've been too exhausted to make any models this week. Realised you glue the right hand arms to the Gene Stealer can't reach and assembled last week in the wrong places. I wouldn't worry about it. I wouldn't worry about it at all. If you can like separate them, go for it. If not, who cares? Just make it work. Herschel HRS, how you doing? Hope stream's going well. Hope your day's amazing. Pretty good. Just started and everything. Go for a couple of hours and then we all know the sort of the new schedule by now. Go for a couple of hours. Like I said, hopefully we can get all the brown in. So we're going for this on this side of the cloak, but we will be doing red on this side because of the OSL from the torch. So we're pretty much splitting the cloak from like the seam line, doing the brown on here, and then we can do the red down here. Gene Stealer's a mutant, just call it a genetic bad patch. That works, yeah, totally. So we still need some brown on this like wet blending sort of stage. We don't know how far we want to push the OSL up to the top of the cloak because the torch is quite low down on the base. Yeah, just think of it as your models are a lot more unique. Yeah, as long as the rest of the model and stuff now goes together, right? I wouldn't worry about it at all.
FTG Tevin rated my stream with 1 viewers.
Evan, how you doing? How was the stream? What'd you get up to today? Let me get you that shout out in a second. Was it SO, I think it is? Don't even know our own commands. There we go. Nice. Yes, thank you. We don't even know our own commands. Yeah, how you doing? Really nice to see you as always. Yeah, I think because we, like I said, we missed Monday. and I was hoping to have the cloak done Monday because we'd have like the 2 streams to work on it. So we'd get like the inside of the cloak done on like the part 1 like we did yesterday. And the part 2 then would allow us to finish off the outside of the cloak, but see, we weren't able to stream on the Monday. Just a little bit behind on the model. Because, like I said, we've literally got the rest of this week to finish it, if we can. So next week won't be any streams. For those of you that don't know, we have some building work done on the house, and then we have to take our stream setup and everything down. All the painting setup and stuff now needs to be all packed away and everything. And the reason I want to get it finished, I was hoping to get it finished this week, is then we have the potential of entering into the Element Games painting competition. So it's not a big deal if we don't get it finished. Hopefully we can potentially push like tonight's stream a little bit longer. See how we're feeling and everything. Catch up with the chat and stuff in a second. Like when you're doing like the wet blending and stuff like that, so I have to try and focus in on it a little bit so you can work the paint while it's still wet, of course. Okay. Mod stuff. Can't stick around, but send in your pics. All good, all good. Painting competition, yeah. Element Games are running another painting competition with the theme of, obviously they're called Element Games. They're doing a theme of like the elements. They're starting off this one with fire. I assume they'll go through all the rest of them as well. I don't know how much Abaddon qualifies for that sort of category, because like really the only sort of fire that has on the model is the torch on the base. Like I said, I was hoping if I could get it finished, maybe we could sneak it in as an entry. think because we're adding like the OSL and everything in, it's a little bit more advanced than just painting in the torch. Like, even if we couldn't enter it in the competition, I was hoping to get it done anyway, so when we take like the break, the model's finished and we can start fresh with a new model. So we're not trying to like remember the areas of the model that we've painted, how we've painted specific parts, things like that. Okay. I guess it's a good opportunity to show the inside of the cloak. Let's try not make a habit of that. Right, let's must be early for stream raiders. Could almost any tower model fit the fire theme? Because the warrior cast is called. There's no way I don't have any tower models, and there's no way I could paint a tower model in like a few days. Yeah, we did Shadow Sun. While that battle's going on, let's grab it real quick. 2 seconds. I think they're like looking for more actual fire rather than like a subtle, almost like nod to it, I guess. Yeah, this is Shadowson. And these are the two drones. We're going to get this model packed up this week, and then we're going to get it shipped off to Alice, along with more paint for all. Which is cool. Quite surprised we won that battle. Okay, let's try another one. Let's exit this event. Okay, let's continue. There we go. Okay. TNG, how you doing? Nice to see you. Hope you're doing good. That blue almost shiny looking. We've got this model looking like this because it hasn't got, I don't think we put a varnish on it. Maybe we did, but we did more of a satin varnish. So we had a bit of, we just mixed a bit of matte varnish and gloss varnish together, I think. I can't remember, it was a while ago when we painted this. Yeah. Like the camera doesn't really do it justice, but there's a lot of I did like the blends and stuff as clean as possible when we were painting it. And we did like the lighting from the back of the model. Yeah, looks cool. I'd love to paint another tower model with like our experience and stuff we've got now. I think we could do something pretty cool. Yeah, we don't really have the option to pick up any sort of new models right now though. Need to, as soon as we finished Abaddon, depending on if Hatchet's commission comes in, gonna start working on that. And then, if it doesn't, probably going to move straight onto Gulliman. Yeah, what I might do is go down to Element Games and stuff this weekend. Maybe even like Warhammer World, see if they've got any of the models in stock. Okay, so we're just coming in with light timber now. We'll try and brighten up the bottom of the cloak, ready for that stippling. You hope to paint just as great as me. It looks so good. I appreciate that, but I don't think we're amazing. Using red on the cape later? Yes. So, with Abaddon, on the base, there's a torch. There's the front of the model. On the back of the model, there's a torch right here. We've done like a sort of representation of the red sort of OSL on the back of the legs. So when the cloak's added on, we're going to replicate basically this red OSL on the side of the cloak. So it should look pretty cool. Yeah, I don't think we're that great at painting. We've still got a long way to go. Yeah, we like painting red on cloaks. Here's an example of one. Of course, we have to throw some purple in on the inside. Yeah, use red a lot on capes because I think it just looks really good. Because unless you're painting red on the model itself, it's a great way to introduce like a new color to your model. Like for example on this Slaves of Darkness here, we've done like a cold blue armor. We've obviously done purple on the inside of the cloak because we try and throw purple in somewhere on our models. And then we've got a purple and sort of red, pretty dark blend on this cloak. And then this is using black and the same reds. Just pushed a lot brighter. So you can, like I said, it's a great way to introduce a new color to your model without it looking forced in a way. You can pretty much do that with like sort of any color. But yeah, I like working with like blues, purples and reds because they all work really nicely together. You're more of a Nurgle and Slanesh stuff. I like Slanesh. Don't really like the models too much though, apart from like the Keeper of Secrets in there. At least you could say, you know, food and happiness is great. Spotty, how you doing? If you don't like Zinch, whip, look at that. Oh, I didn't even, you didn't even, I'm sure you didn't even say anything about the whip. Let's scroll up for a second. Oh, you did. Don't forget to check the whip. Sorry. If you want to get my attention, just at me. Ooh. Stormcast conversion into Space Marines. Ooh, okay, okay. Boop. FTG Evan. Go for like a metallic red, metallic blue. That's really cool, that is actually. I'm more of a fan of metallic blue over the red, to be honest. Yeah. This one's badass. You can almost do like this is a Blade Guard sort of veteran. I would have replaced the helmets with Space Marine helmets to throw like put that like the message across a little bit more. Maybe even replace the shoulder pads with, if you can. Obviously, I don't know. The Stormcast shoulder pads look a little bit bigger, but really drive home the fact that they're Space Marines. It kind of looks like they're Stormcast with like guns and a wandom, like a wandom backpack. Yeah, it's almost like use the bodies and then do everything else as the like the Space Marine bits. Yeah, it's really cool. Like really cool concept though. Really cool idea. Yeah, make these ones into Blade Guard veterans. Yeah, I like it. Like I said, I prefer the blue over the red. Looks really cool though. I like it, I like it. Really unique sort of concept as well. Yeah. Just at me. Third part brands, go for it. If you need a permit, there you go. Me and Az exact on the same wavelength. What do I? It's only 60 seconds. Can we change that? Hopefully it works. Yeah, we can recommend anything, to be honest. There we go. Doesn't say if I can change the time at all. I think it's default 60 and that's it. I'll have to look into that. You've not been able to find it in third-party / Warhammer 40k stuff? Yeah. Like I said, the only models I like from Solenesh is like the Keeper of Secrets in there. I think like they're more sort of like, I think they're called like, are they Demonettes? I think they are. I don't really like them too much. Looks cool, a bit too glossy for you, but stock cards, yeah. I think the way to, if you mix your metallic with your color, so if you're using like silver, for example, mix it in with some red, try that. Maybe like glaze over some reds. So it's a bit more like subtle rather than super, super shiny. But if you're going for the shiny look, that's fine. Look like Power Rangers. Allow that. Ooh, Creature Caster. I like Creature Caster. Thank you for that not safe for work warning as well. Like Creature Caster, I always assume they've got some sort of not safe for work feature. That's why you don't see a lot of people painting them on stream. Because they've always got, you know, like parts showing that maybe they shouldn't. This one isn't bad though. I think you could probably get away with this one because like the nipples are covered by like a really ornate sort of tassel thing. Really cool though. You have the option to add that or not. I see. Okay. But yeah, Creature Caster makes some awesome models. I like him. I have to know that. It's all good. Okay, let's get some more of this light umber. Let's throw a touch more water in it. Okay, let's work from this side. Okay. Let's rotate it around for a second. Let's get some light umber on these raised sections up here. Grab our black brown. Let's drop that either side. Work it over the top, work it into that recess. And we grab our light umber again. Okay. Some more light umber now towards the bottom of this cloak here. With that colour up, let's grab our black brown. Run it down. Get a bit more water on the go. Much better. And I think, like, said it a few times, but I think when it comes to painting, confidence is half the battle. Like having the confidence just to go for something. Like, it's great knowing when to be more precise with your brush strokes and everything like that. Get nice clean highlights and all that good stuff. But sometimes you need to be a lot more relaxed. Like on this cloak here, we're just literally throwing paint down. Not too worried about it. We're just adjusting some brightness, adjusting the shadows. We know nothing is permanent. We have the confidence in our like sort of painting ability and painting knowledge and stuff like that to adjust things as we go. Like, don't be afraid to try something. Cloak is a little bit, I don't know actually, is it? I guess our approach to painting this cloak is a bit different to how we typically approach painting cloaks. We tend to do like a general sort of color across the whole thing. We typically don't really do like fades and things on that from top to the bottom. But with this cloak, we want the bottom of the cloak to be brighter in preparation for our weathering and stippling and stuff like that, which we'll do probably after this layer here. Yeah, even though we want the bottom of the cloak to be brighter, we still have to be mindful of like the raised sections in like the folds and that further up the cloak. Need to try and keep some shadow into the recesses. So all the highlighting we'll be doing will be done by stippling. Like I say it all the time. You can learn the basic techniques and everything and that, you know, doing your base coats, doing your layering, doing your highlighting, doing your wet blending, all that stuff. Like all your glazing and things like that. But the real benefit then comes from finding your own way to do things. Don't have to follow like a step-by-step guide on how to do something if it's not working for you. Like, oh, I really want to do this technique, but the way this person's shown how to do it, I find it easier to do it this way. And it's like, well, if you find it easier to do it that way and you get really good results that you're happy with, do it that way. Like, it might not be the, like, quote-unquote right way to do something, but nothing, I don't think anything's the right way to do something when it comes to painting. It's all just about personal preference. Like, yesterday we were looking at, Alice's Blood Angel, like the whip of it. And, we're talking about, like, the way Games Workshop and stuff highlights up their Space Marines. On, like, black, doing, like, a sort of overall edge highlight kind of works, because if you want something to read as black, if you paint it anything else other than black, without like a sort of obvious sort of OSL, it kind of doesn't read as black anymore, and people are like, oh, that's not black, that's whatever color you've painted it. So you kind of have limited options. You can still go a lot more subtle with the highlighting. Yeah, if you like the way Games Workshop paints their minis and you like the sort of overall edge highlighting and stuff like that, then do that. If you don't, you can still use the edge highlighting technique, but just do it a lot more subtle. Use a darker edge highlight in your shadows, a brighter edge highlight in your highlight areas. Doesn't have to all be like one tone. Cool. That's ready for some stippling and stuff now. Right, let's catch up for a second. Sorry, I'm missing all the comments and stuff. I think it's kinky and you like it. Awesome. It fits the lash one. Yeah. Like I said, Creaturecast have awesome models. After reading the Trader's Hand novel, he's left wanted to build a unit of courtesans. Courtesans, I think that's what that says. With autoguns and heavy stubbers. Raging Heroes also make a lot of good third-party Slanesh sculpts, but you need a lot of green stuff to patch them up and sculpt them yourself. Worth it though if you're from the UK. Raging Heroes, yeah, they've got... The models look cool, But I don't know how well they represent their images, if that makes sense. Like sometimes you can see a picture of like a sculpt, like a 3D like digital sculpt of a model, and then if you get the print, it might not be as good quality, all that good stuff. I don't know. 3D print your own, that's cool. Third party is not official, yeah. Third party is like anything that's not Games Workshop, basically. You want to make, do what makes you more comfortable. If it works, it works. Okay. Let's see if you prefer more comics. Comics, that's cool. Yeah, okay. Stream Raiders, hello, there we go. Like, I can't remember who it was, but they, the way they paint their miniatures is they do like a lot of cross hatching, and they do like let me see if I can find it. I can't remember who it was though. Like they posted a picture of a Space Marine in like the sort of rainbow colors, and don't get me wrong, the miniature looked incredible. And like all the comments and stuff are now like, oh, like, you know, like the usual stuff you sort of get, like, you know, oh, this is heresy and all this stuff. And it's like, get over yourself. It's a plastic model that's being painted. If you care that much, go find some other hobby. That's ridiculous. Yeah, I can't remember who it was though. But yeah, they paint in like a sort of like extreme sort of style. Where it's a lot of, like I said, like crosshatch highlighting. Okay, let's get our old brush that we do all our stippling and stuff. We use it for metallics and things as well. Let's get some fresh light umber. Yeah, there's loads of different ways to paint models. Said, nothing's the right way, nothing's the wrong way. It's whatever you think looks cool. If someone doesn't like it, I don't know why it'd matter, because it's not their model. Like, it's fine to say, oh, you know, this model looks cool and stuff and that, but what if you tried this? Or, I like the model, but I would have preferred if it had more of this on it, or, you know, so you're still sort of showing appreciation for their work, but then you're giving like your suggestion as well, or like how you would have approached it or done it. It's like when you guys share like your models and stuff and that in the Discord and everything. And I don't know everything when it comes to miniature painting. I still got a lot to learn and stuff and that. But if I see a few things that I personally would do to maybe, I don't want to say like improve the model or anything like that. But if I see something that I'd like to suggest, I always ask first. I would say, is it okay if, if I give give my opinion, give a little bit of feedback and stuff on how I would progress the model and stuff. And if you're like, yes, you can, I'll share my opinion, and then you can take it or leave it, sort of thing. I don't like the people that have the attitude of, oh, my way is the right way, anything else is wrong, sort of thing. So this stippling, we got some fresh paint on the palette because we don't really want too much water mixed in, or really any sort of water mixed in, because we want to keep the paint as dry as possible. We're using the glove to remove excess paint, so we're not applying too much at once, and also remove any sort of extra moisture and stuff like that might be in the paint itself. Wow, windy. Starting off with light umber because we've wet blended that into the previous layer. So it might look pretty extreme when you apply it, but because it's already present in the previous layer underneath, which is why we did that wet blend in, as it dries, it appears more subtle. And you can do a couple of layers, and then we'll work up into our, I think it was golden brown, I think it was, that we used. So we're keeping like the heavier stippling towards the bottom of the cloak because that's where the most sort of weathering would take place and the more damage. So when we apply some fresh paint to the brush and remove it on the glove, there'll still be a bit more than we would like on the brush. So we start at the bottom of the cloak because it's a pretty safe starting point. Let's get some black brown. I'll show you how to tone something down. I'll show you an example now. So we get some fresh black brown, which is our darkest color. So let's grab our light umber real quick. Say for example, right here, you do a big splodge. It's in like probably one of the deepest recesses on the cloak. You don't like how it looks. Think it's too bright. Don't worry about it. Go back to your darkest color. And then just literally stipple over the top. You can do this as well. So you can put a layer of like the light umber down, and you can take some of that dark umber, you can stipple over the top, and it'll tone the brightness a bit down. And then you can go back into your light umber, reset the brush, start off at the bottom of the cloak where you got like that sort of safety, test the paint, see how much is on the brush, and then you can come back in, so I think it's really important not just to know the different techniques and everything like that. I think it's super important, if not more important, to know how to correct something. the quicker you can sort of get out of the mindset of, oh, I don't want to paint this model, or I'm super scared of like making a mistake. And you get that confidence and you're thinking, right, paint this. It doesn't matter if I make a mistake because I know how to fix it. That's when, like, especially for me, that's when I went from not necessarily not enjoying painting, but enjoying painting a lot more. So like there, for example, went a bit heavy, come back in with that black brown, stipple over the top, bit more light ember. Bring some of that brightness back. And really important as well, don't do this with a nice brush. Do it with like, keep like your old brushes. It'll ruin your brush. Oh. A wild munchkin appears. Quick, grab a master ball. Alright.
Yeah.
Good. Sorry, I'm totally missing all the chat. Some people are like, oh, just ignore them. Yep. Stippling? Yes. That's how we created the texture. It's a super fun technique, super forgiving. You can go pretty like crazy with it as well. Like if you get like a fine detail brush, you can do like little scratches, like sort of like the micro sort of detailing.
Please don't throw balls at me. Hi, Chloe.
Bav, how you doing? Do you have a favourite faction? Probably not, because I paint any model I think looks cool.
Mine would have to be Stormcast.
Stormcast. The new Stormcast are awesome.
Really nice and easy to paint, and they look awesome.
Yeah, the redesigned ones and especially. Like they're a lot more open. They don't have too much like cloth and stuff blocking the armor and everything like that, like on the old ones. Like their posing's a lot better as well. The proportions and stuff and that. Yeah, you could say yeah, they're better, like got better proportions and stuff. They look a more, you know, realistic and things like that, but the proportions of the old ones never really bothered me. Just like the posing and things. Like they look super square and like blocky. Plus the Stormcast have really nice variety. I think that's a thing that a lot of the model ranges lack. Is you don't typically get too many like too much variety in the range.
Guess what?
Hang on. Alright, give me a second everybody. I'll be back now. Okay, sorry about that, everybody. Yeah, just checking the mail. Nothing. Oh, letter. Is that for me? Oh. Oh, right. Okay. Yeah, sorry about that, everybody. Let's catch up. Spotty said hello, by the way. Bav, how you doing? Muted again due to work. Okay, no worries. Can you get like flat tip brushes for stippling? Yes, you can. Get yourself, if you want some like larger brushes, get yourself really cheap like makeup brushes. Typically makeup brushes have really soft bristles because obviously they're meant for like your face and things. But you can, like, as like fortunate enough, it's like a sort of really nice color as well. But these have got really stiff bristles because I think these are for eyeshadow. I think this one's for. I can't quite remember. It came in like a big set, like a big bundle. I think it was like £1 or something it was. Yeah, you can get really stiff bristles, quite like a larger one. It'd be good for dry brushing as well. Like, you sort of dry brushes as well have like a stiffer bristle. Like, for example, yeah, I wouldn't really spend too much money, but if you got some, these are quite, this one's quite soft because of what do you call it? I wasn't really using it for like dry brushing itself. If you've watched any like artist Opus videos, they have their own sort of set of dry brushes. They're kind of like the ones that Army Painter have come out with. They're like a round mock style brush, and they have quite stiff bristles, but they use a slightly different technique where they have like a what they call a dampening pad, where they put the brush in, get a bit of moisture on the brush, and then they work the paint in that way, so it applies a bit smoother. They use it for like a lot of vehicles and stuff. It's a pretty cool technique. But you can get really stiff bristle brushes, which might help, especially like this one. Yeah, so just get yourself like a really cheap set. If you can, if they're like open or like loose or whatever, you can check the bristles. I like this one because it has a softer bristle, but because you can get it to like a nice fine point, you can do a lot of like control stippling. And then as you work the paint off, because it's an older brush, the bristles just naturally sort of fray. And then you get like a really cool randomized sort of pattern. Yeah. Yeah, Spotty said hello, if I didn't say already. It's tie between Ultramarines and Imperial Fists. No. I like Ultramarines. Don't really like Imperial Fists too much. The reason I don't like Imperial Fists is because why would you paint your armor bright yellow? It's like, yeah, let's just put a bullseye right on every single unit in our army. Slash was your first experience to gender transgressive. Test this with these words, character design. That's cool. That's awesome. Yeah, Slash is cool. Just like I said, it's not a big fan of like I think I'm sure they're called demonettes. I don't really like the design of them. Okay, we're going to do a little bit of stippling with this brown. Even though we're going to be doing red, I want to get a little bit of light umber as like a foundation layer, so we can build up the red on top if any areas we don't, because we're not going to do like a complete coat of red, we're going to be doing more stippling with red. I want to just have like that little bit of brown underneath, that if we don't cover all the area, it still has a little bit of brown. Because hopefully the goal with the red is not to have like a solid coat of it. We just literally almost like want to tint the surface red, but still maintain the texture. Because like the darker material would absorb more light, so it would be a bit darker. The lighter material then, with all the damage and weathering and stuff on it, would reflect like a lighter red, because it reflects the light rather than absorbs it. Stippling is such a fun, really forgiving technique. It's a little bit more like sort of back and forth. Like whereas you typically work from like dark to light, this one you're jumping back and forth between your darker colours, your lighter colours, adjusting some of the weathering in the shadows, some of it on the highlights. Yeah, we don't really have a favourite sort of faction. Like I said, we typically just paint models that we think look cool. And I think that's a really good way to, like, if you want to play the game, then obviously you're a bit more restricted because you tend to want to have like an army. But because we don't play the game, we have the freedom to basically paint anything we want to. Which I think is the nicest way to paint. We don't have the typical issues that come with like army painting. Oh, not another X model. We have a lot more freedom when it comes to painting as well, because we can basically paint a model however we want to. We're not sort of restricted to the, oh, it has to be this color to fit in with the current faction I'm painting. Yeah, this is a perfect example of the using like a finer tip brush for the stippling, because we can go into this deepest recess, have a lot more control with the brush, get the stippling exactly where we want it. Yeah, I like models that have variety. Cool. So there's our first sort of layer done. Got like a general bit of stippling, bit of weathering over like most of the cloak. We'll do that Stream Raiders battle. We'll catch up with the chat and everything like that as well. Put that there. Hopefully that works out for us. Let's catch up with the chat for a second. Slanesh and Nurse Designs. Nurse Designs, both ahead of the time. Some of those old Burgled models. Slanesh and Nurgle. Okay, I was gonna say Burgled model. God, I can't even talk. Can't read, can't talk. Is that a dry brush? Henry, how you doing? Go over the brushes. I talk about brushes. I'll go over this brush now. Body. Keep going with these battles. We might be able to get away with one more after this. Let's see. See what the time is. Go for you, because you seem pretty cool. That down like that. Go back to this. No. This is a old sable brush. I don't recommend using sable brushes for this sort of technique. This is a size 0 because you have like it's a short bristle brush as well. You get brushes so this is a 00, so it's a smaller brush than the size 0, but has a slightly long. I can't even see that. Sorry. Let's do it that way. Slightly longer bristle, and then something like this. It's a much longer bristle. I prefer the longer bristle brushes, especially for like wet blending, because they hold more moisture, hold more paint, and you can pretty much like highlight to do fine detail with any sort of brush as long as you get a fine tip on it and it holds that point. Yeah, short tip, like short bristle brushes are nice for stippling because they're easier to remove excess paint off of. You do have a bit more control. They don't spray out as much, if that makes sense. We told you just get makeup brushes for dry brushing. Yeah, makeup brushes are great. Like I said, typically makeup brushes have a softer bristle because obviously they're meant to go on your face and everything like that. You don't want something that's going to damage your skin or anything. So something like this. See how much it flexes in that? Yeah. Ultramarines are great. Ultramarines are cool. Especially more of a salamander fan for Marines because you love to protect people in mostly any situation. Salamanders are cool. Alpha Legion are great. Yep. You like that? A lot of codex books, like Genestealer Cult Codex, have sub-faction. They let you use the rules for the name sub-faction, but have the appearance of whatever you have designed for your customs. Okay. So like kind of like what you call him? Successor chapters for Space Marines. You can create your own sort of successor chapter, but then you can align it to whatever faction you like. So like Space Wolves or whatever the other ones are. Yeah, that's cool. The thing I think if you're going to do like successor chapters, I don't know the rules and stuff like that off the top of my head, but I think to make it fair, you'd probably have to have some sort of like insignia or something like that that represents the chapter it belongs to. So like a Space Wolf shoulder pad or something, for example, because like we talked about this before, if you created a successor chapter of your own, you could just look at the rules and stuff, whichever faction and things is the best at the current time. You can say, oh yeah, these Space Marines belong to Salamanders. And then if they change some of the rules up and stuff and that, and then say like White Scars are really good. Oh yeah, my successor chapters for White Scars. But wasn't it like Space Wolves, like Salamanders 2 minutes ago? I don't know. Like I said, I don't really know the rules and stuff and that. I don't know what sort of restrictions you have on any sort of like sub-faction. So just going in now, a bit more light ember, doing a second coat. This will probably be like the final coat we do on this side of the cloak. We'll focus all our attention on this side now because a lot of the highlighting and stuff on that on the other side will be done with red. Should be pretty cool. Nice, I like that. Makeup brushes help. So yeah, Space Marine, Gene Steel Cultists, Sabato, and Adeptus Mechanicus. Some of the names successors have no heraldry, or paint scheme in common with their parent chapter. Yeah, I found like a picture while I was looking up some Golden Brown, like Space Marine successor chapters, and there's a ton of them. Like even like the recognized chapters, there's a bunch. Which I thought was really cool. Okay, let's take some of that light ember, take a tiny touch of that golden brown. Do a step up in brightness. So yeah, the thing I love about the glove is we've got all the previous layers on it. So when we remove the excess paint, we can do it over the previous layer and just see how bright it is compared to that, rather than going straight to the model and potentially risk putting like a layer that's too bright. It doesn't matter with the stippling because, like I showed you before, you can easily go back in with your previous steps, tone it down. We try and get a bit of stippling and stuff and that around all the damage as well. We'll come back in at the end like we did yesterday with our sort of fine tip brush. We'll do a lot more controlled weathering and stuff like that around all the damage. Okay, let's mix up a little bit more of this colour. A bit too bright. It's better. Okay, one thing to be careful of is when you're stippling stuff in there, like try not to, I do it a couple of times because like I'm moving like the brush too quickly, but try not to move the brush too close to the cloak, because then you end up with like lines in it. Like, I don't know if you can see, like here, it's like a couple of lines where as we've been moving the brush, it's caught the model. Try and like lift the brush away from it as you move into different areas, so you still stick with that sort of randomized, almost like dot sort of pattern. And then if you want to put like more specific like scratches and stuff in that in, come in with like a finer detail brush and put the scratches exactly where you want them. Okay, so grab some paint, bring the brush to as much of a point as possible. You can clean off the brush, like if we clean off the brush, get some more of that paint, got the brush to a more of a finer point than we had before. Then come in, do some more controlled stippling around like the damage on those raised areas, and then go back to our more like sort of like free, I guess, because we're just trying to create like as much of a randomized pattern as possible, but keeping in mind we want the bottom of the cloak to be brighter. So the more and more of this golden brown we start adding in, the more we'll focus it towards the bottom of the cloak. Oh, we're not supposed to be doing over here. Wipe that off real quick. Okay. Got getting a bit carried away. It's a pretty crazy wind right now. We have like a storm or something on the way. Hopefully that doesn't affect the internet and stuff. Like yesterday when we had like that random sort of disconnection. Like a few seconds. Okay. Oops, a bit too heavy. You know what? I'm just going to go over here as well. It's only a tiny bit of cloak, so why not? So just help with the next steps as well. So we've got a big splodge right there. Doesn't even matter. Go back to our, get some black brown. Couple of splodges in there. Back to our lighter color now. No, here, get off. Stipple back over. There we go. Oh. Even more golden brown now. Now we're starting to get to more of a purer form of golden brown, which is going to be our maximum brightness we're putting on the cloak. We're going to be a lot more selective where we place it now. We're going to focus it a lot more towards the bottom of the cloak, maybe a little bit on some of the raised areas, especially like at the center of this bit. Not too much though. Do a little bit on the side like that. Maybe do a tiny amount just on the bottom here. Just like that. A touch more. Yeah, as you're going lighter and lighter with your color, be mindful where you're starting applying the paint. Like where we were starting at the bottom of the cloak, because we had like that light umber and everything, and like a little safety sort of net. As we're getting lighter and lighter and introducing more and more of that golden brown, you want to start applying the paint where you want it to be the brightest, but also away from the recesses. Because if you come in with it, like if you load up some fresh paint on your brush and you have a bit too much on it and you put the brush into the recess and you get a big splodge of brightness. You're going to have to go back to your previous layers. It's just going to take a bit more work to correct it. Okay. Cool. More golden brown. Go for a sandy cape. We're going for, like, we have a Abaddon, so we're trying to recreate this. We've done the inside of the cloak if you haven't seen it already. Like that. So the inside of the cloak, we focus a lot more of the weathering and everything towards the bottom, because obviously the inside of the cloak isn't going to be weathered as much, because it's going to be basically protected by not just like the marine and things like that, but because it's on the inside, it's not going to get as much water and stuff on it. Outside, we're going a bit heavier with the weathering, getting a lot more of that texture, because it's going to be exposed to like elements, battle damage, anything like that. And then to further, like, so almost like drive home, I guess, in a way, the appearance of the weathering and things like that, if we do end up doing a, like, the pigment powder on the base, which I assume we probably will, we'll chuck a bit of that pigment powder on the bottom of the cloak to tie it in with the environment. You can do your weathering as like heavy or as light as you want. Sometimes it looks really nice when it's nice and subtle. Sometimes it looks pretty cool when it's really heavy. I'm just like sort of like in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, well, Abaddon has been around for what, like thousands of years? No idea how old the model, like not the model, how old the character is. Hundreds of years maybe? I think thousands might be pushing it. Don't know how long they live. I don't think you'd be like swapping out the cloak every 5 minutes. So I think over the time it's experienced a bunch of different environments. It's been like weathered and stuff considerably. Okay. So now we're going to take pretty much almost pure golden brown now. This will be probably our final step. What time are we on? 20 past? 6 minutes on that battle. So yeah, if you like, when you're doing the weathering and stuff and that, if you don't like how heavy the weathering and stuff is, if it's too bright, anything like that, go back to your previous layers, come back in, stipple over, make it a bit more subtle. Again, that's why we did the wet blending stage beforehand. We didn't just do like a base coat of that dark brown and go straight in with the weathering. Okay, I like this. Wonder if we'll have time to do the red. We should do. Okay, we need a tiny bit in here. Sort of neglected that bit because obviously the red. Ooh, that's way too bright. Let's see if we can just use a little bit of water. Dab that on. Just use the moisture to soften it. There we go. Cool. I like that. Okay, final step. Nice fine tip brush. And then we're going to go in. We're going to do all the weathering and damage and stuff like that around the holes. Do a bit more precision stippling now. Just be super careful if you're using like a nice brush. You don't press too hard. You don't want to damage the brush. God. Nothing. Abaddon must be at least 10,000 years old. Wow. Looks pretty good. Probably still reads the newspaper in the morning. Probably has like a new alarm clock every day. Ends up like smashing it to bits. Like, how do they live so long then? Is it like literally like chaos? It's like giving them sort of like extended life or something? Like, it makes a bit more sense for like a Primarch to live thousands and thousands of years. Like, I know technically they're like not gods, but they're sort of viewed as gods and everything like that. Okay, give me a second, everybody. We'll do that stream with this battle. Just cleaning up the edge of the cloak now. Probably switch to the other brush, so we don't risk damaging that one. And we'll come in. Our final sort of step will be darken down any recesses. And what I mean by that is some stupid hair. One of the bristles come off the brush. Like any damage on the cloak, there's not a hole. We'll come back in with a darker color. Just basically fill that in. Okay, might as well do the same on this side if we can get to it. Cool. So let's get our black brown. Touch of water. Oops. Nice. Missed one up there. There we go. Very cool. Very nice. Right, stream raiders, and we'll catch up with the chat there. What time are we on? I don't know if we'll have time to start the red. Catch up with the chat for a second. Oh yeah, cultists wake him up every morning when they're being smashed to bits. Yeah, probably. Target number 4, how you doing? Nice to see you. Lives in the Eye of Terror, so mostly chaos. Although Marines could basically live until they die in combat. Okay. These are the powers of Chaos Gods means there are many Chaos Space Marines that have been around since the Horus Heresy. Primarchs have enough sorcery involved in them. They're fairly called demigods. Yeah. Abaddon is a clone of a Primarch, so would live as long as his clone father. I thought, okay. Blood Angels is over 1,100 years old. By the way of not getting killed. I like that. I have some sort of notification. I wonder what that is. Back to the map. Okay. Let's come back to this. What's that? Oh, cool. I think we've unlocked our first sort of animated emote slot. Isn't he a campfire too? Oh god, vampire, not campfire. Isn't he a campfire? Yes. Everyone gather around him when it's cold. You'll thirst for blood. Oh. So basically, blood angels are like immortal then, in a way. If they're going off like the typical, you know, stereotypical vampire thing. Cool. So we're on Hobbies 3. Let's find out how long dinner's going to take. And then we can see if we can do the red now. If not, when we come back for part 2 later this evening, we will do the red then. Blood angels do actually drink blood. Cool. I like blood angels more now. Oh god, cough. I guess in Blood Angel case you would say they live until the Black Rage takes them and they go get killed in battle. Black Rage, huh? And Mephisto will probably live forever since he's a badass sorcerer Dracula. Mephisto is a model we need to paint. Yeah. Like, we've got Abaddon we're working on, and we've got Guilliman to work on next. Maybe Mephisto after that, possibly. I want to work through, like, basically all the Primarchs and everything.
Never done.
Hold on.
Oh.
So, yeah, we're going to wrap up now. And then when we come back later this evening, we'll do the red on the cloak. So, basically try and think the red OSL we've got on the legs will be replicated on like the back of the cloak here. Should be pretty cool.
Oh, yeah, nice.
Let's take the cloak off the holder for a second. Let's put it on the model, see how it looks. Give us an idea of what we're working with. Then we can put it on the base. Get an exact guide of where to put the OSL. So we have that. Yeah. The cloak matches really well with the tabard, which is awesome. Exactly what we were going for. And then the back looks like that. And then if we can bring the base in, we'll stand the model on it, like that. So yeah, see how the torch is there, catches that leg. We'll catch all the inside of this, like all the inside of this cloak here. We'll fade it out as it goes round. So yeah, like I said, the plan for the cloak, we wanted it to be brighter because the model's pretty dark, and I wanted some sort of bright element on it, just to give it like sort of like a focal point, especially for the back of the model, because it takes up so much of the model. If it was super dark, I think it would have like it wouldn't have such an impact, you know.
Bring some brightness on it, sort of.
Cool, I like that. So let's leave that on because we'll probably forget about the positioning. So what we're going to do, we're going to wrap up here. We're going to go sort out some dinner, as always. And then we'll come back probably about 6 o'clock this evening. So in about just over 2 hours or so. And then we'll do part 2. We will do the red on the cloak. Get that cloak finished. We'll do all like the fur and everything on the top. We'll do all the shoulder pad and all that as well. We'll see how long that takes us. And then from there, we'll probably do the other shoulder pads. So we might as well get that done as well. And we'll just work through all the details then. And just see how much we can get done in the evening. And we'll go from there, okay? Catch up with the chat one last time. Okay, chill out. All Space Marines have implanted organ. Let them absorb memories and stuff from other people they eat. Okay, Blood Angels and their successors have a mutation that makes them hunger for blood to an extreme. Okay. They either get killed in battle or Mephisto is sent to take care of them. Okay, right, cool. Yeah, Az, have a good day. Hopefully see you later this evening. Mephisto who fell to the Black Rage, then clawed his way back. Love how they want to prevent Dante to cross the Primaris Rubicon because it would kill him. All Dante wants is to actually die. Okay. Spotty, you have a great night. Awesome to see you as always.
Bye.
Whoa, calm down. Okay, cool. So I'm happy with the progress so far. Like I said, when we come back, we'll do the red on the cloak and we'll just finish off the fur and stuff on the top of it. We'll try and do the shoulder pads, all that good stuff. We'll just see how much we can get done. I'll clean off these brushes and stuff in a second. But yeah. Hopefully we'll see you this evening. Like I said, in about just over 2 hours or so. If not, have a great rest of your day. And I shall see you all in a couple of hours, okay? Bye! You say bye-bye? Bye!